Namaskar learners. My name is Jyotsna and I am from Education Department Chandigarh. Today what we are going to do is something which we are really proud of. Yes, our nation, our country, our pride, India. You know, India happens to be the oldest civilization of the world. And when we look back, every name which has been given to India tells us a new story. It has been named as Jambudweep. It has been named as Bharat, which it truly is. And over the period of time, it was named India. In our constitution as well, we have opted for Bharat and India. Apart from Bharat and India, there had been many other names as well. And every name will tell us a new story, our new history. So, without wasting any time, let's get going. India, that is Bharat. From the grade 6 social science book Exploring Society, India and Beyond, Tapestry of the Past. India, that is Bharat, is a phrase from Article 1 of the Constitution of India, signifying that the country is known by two names, India and Bharat. With Bharat being an ancient self-claimed name and India stemming from the Indus River. The phrase was included to acknowledge and unify the nation's ancient heritage, Bharat, with its modern colonial past, India. And it is a foundational concept in the Indian identity and constitution. Today, the India we know is a modern nation. It has defined borders, defined states, and even a known population count down to the last digit. But let's suppose for a moment, was it always like this? 500 years ago? 2000 years ago? Or 5000 years ago? The picture looked very, very different. The land we call India today has been through many changes and at many times. Sometimes it was collection of small kingdoms. Sometimes it was mighty empires. Sometimes it was known by one name and sometimes by another. The region of the world, which we often call the Indian subcontinent, has had many names and shifting boundaries. And do you know what's most fascinating? We can trace this journey through poems, inscriptions, stories, and even the writings of travelers from faraway land. So let's take a journey through time. Let us explore the names of India, that is Bharat. So we'll divide this entire session into how India was named. We will begin with how Indians named India. Our journey begins with India's oldest known text, the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda is not just a book, it's a collection of hymns, chants, and prayers preserved for thousands of years. Imagine people sitting around sacred fire chanting these verses long before writing even existed. In the Rig Veda, the northwestern region of India is called Sapt Sindhu, the land of the 7 rivers. Why 7 rivers? Because rivers were life. They gave water for drinking, farming, and travel. They were worshipped as sacred mothers. And the word Sindhu came from Sindhu, the great Indus River. Sometimes the word means the Indus itself. Sometimes it simply means river. Now let's move forward in time. The great epic Mahabharata. What is an epic? So epic is a very, very long poem. So the same way, Mahabharata is India's oldest epic and one of India's most famous texts. It gives us an even broader picture. This text is not only a story of war and duty, it is also a treasure house of geography. It lists regions like Kashmira, more or less known as Kashmir today, Kurukshetra, parts of modern Haryana, Vanga, which is modern day Bengal, Prag Jyotish, which is modern day Assam, Kutch, which is a part of Gujarat, Kutch, Kerala, the lush green land we know today by the same name. But here's the big question. When do we find a name for the entire subcontinent? The Mahabharata uses two very important terms, Bharatvarsha and Jambudvip. First, we'll take Bharatvarsha. Bharatvarsh means the country of Bharatas. Who were Bharatas? They were an ancient Vedic people mentioned in the Rig Veda. Over time, many kings also took the name Bharat. The memory of their lineage became so powerful that the entire subcontinent was named after them. It was also mentioned as Jambudvipa. Now that's very interesting. Jambudvip means the island of the jamun fruit tree. The jamun, also called the Malabar plum or jambul, is a tree native to India. Its sweet purple fruit must have been so familiar, so rooted in everyday life that it became a symbol for the whole land. And I must tell you that if you have to find a name for jamun in English, you will come back to jamun only. You can refer it as Malabar plum, which is typically associated with India. Even Emperor Ashoka, who lived around 250 BC, used to name Jambudvipa in his inscriptions. Now, Ashoka was one of India's greatest rulers, and his empire stretched across what is today's India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and even parts of Afghanistan. His stone inscriptions survive even today, carved in pillars and rocks, bearing witness to the name of the land. Centuries later, the name Bharat became the most common. The Vishnu Puran declares, the country that lies north of the ocean and south of the snowy mountains is called Bharatam. There dwell the descendants of Bharata. Now, let me ask you, what are those snowy mountains? Can you guess? Yes, you guessed it right. These are the Himalayas. So, from the Sanskrit, Him means snow, Alya means abode. The Himalayas are literally the abode of snow. They are the highest mountain systems in the world, a natural barrier, a source of mighty rivers, and a sacred space in Indian tradition. But Indian literature did not stop there. In the south, Tamil poets of Sangam age also described this vast land. Out of a Sangam poem praises King Nedujelian, it says his rule stretched from Cape Kumari in south to the mountains in the north and between the oceans east and west. This is a poetic but clear description of India's geography. A few centuries later, the Bharata became generally used for Indian subcontinent. For instance, in Vishnu Puran, it is mentioned, Uttaram yat samudrasya himadreshchav dakshinam varsham tad bharatam nama. As we have already discussed, this phrase that the country that lies north of the ocean and south of the snowy mountains is called Bharatam. There dwell the descendants of Bharata, an ancient Tamil poem from about 2000 years ago praises a king known from Cape Kumari in the south, modern-day Kanyakumari, to the great mountains in the north. and the ocean on the east and west, describing the true geographic boundaries of India. So this particular poem belongs to a Rupatai genre, where poets guide other bards to the court of generous king. The poem highlights the valor, generosity, and the prosperity under his reign. So whether in Sanskrit or Tamil, in the Vedas or Sangam poetry, the name and the idea of Bharata echoed again and again. Even today, this name survives. In the north, we say Bharat. In the south, often Bharatam. It is written into the very constitution of India. Like we've already discussed, Article 1, India, that is Bharat. Now, from how we named it, we, the Indians, named it, to how the foreigners named India. Now, let's look at another question. How did outsiders see this land? The first foreigners to mention India were the Persians. Around the 6th century BC, the Persians conquered the region of Indus River, known as Sindhu in Sanskrit. But in their language, or we say languages, S often became Ha. So, Sindhu became Hindu. They called the land Hind, Hindu, or Hindu. In ancient Persian, Hindu was just a geographical word. So, it had nothing to do with the religion we called Hinduism today. From the Persian, the name traveled to Greeks. The Greeks who followed the footsteps of Alexander the Great and no H sound in their language. So, Hindu became Indoi or Indique. As from this, we eventually get the English word India. Centuries later, Chinese traveler gave India yet another name. One of the most famous was Yongzhang, also known as Huanzhang, who traveled from China to India in the 7th century CE. So, Huanzhang spent 17 years in India. He visited universities like Nalanda, met scholars, collected Buddhist texts, and returned to China with hundreds of manuscripts. In Chinese, Sindhu became Chonzhou, a word that could also be read as heavenly master. This shows the respect India commanded as the land of Buddha. Later, Persian and Arabic sources use the name Hinduism or Al-Hind. In Persian, Stan means land. So Hindustan simply means the land of Hind. The name was widely used by travelers, traders, and invaders for centuries. Even today, in Chinese, India is called Yindu. In Arabic, it is Al-Hind. And in many European languages, it is some variation of India. So we see every culture, every traveler, every empire gave this land a name. Each name reflected their own language, their own perspective, their own relationship with this place. From Sapta Sindhu in Rig Veda, to Bharatvarsha and Jambudweep in epics, to Hind in Persian, to Indique in Greek, to Chonzhou in Chinese, to Hindustan in Persian and Arabic, to India in modern times. This land has always been more than just geography. It is the strong root, a story told through rivers and mountains, through poets and kings, through pilgrims and travelers. It is Bharat. It is India. It is a land with many names, but one continuous living civilization. So, the next time you say the word India or Bharat, remember, you are speaking a name that carries thousands of years of history, poetry, and pride. With this, we come to the end of this chapter today. So let's recapitulate for what we have studied so far. So on your screen, you will find a question. Along with that, you'll have 4 options. So you have to pick the correct option. And I'm sure you'll be able to do that. So my first question to you is, the northwest region of India was known as Sapt Sindhu, Hindu, Aivath, or Hindu Kush? Yes, the northwest region of India was known as Sapt Sindhu. The word Sindhu refers to Indus River, Saraswati River, Ganges River, or Satluj River. I know that was a cakewalk. So the word Sindhu refers to the Indus River. Wonderful. Which ancient Indian text defines Bharat as the country that lies north of the ocean and south of the snowy mountains? Remember we just did that? Mahabharata, Vishnu Puran, Bhagavad Gita, or Rig Veda? Yes, you got it right. It is Vishnu Puran. Now, what was the Chinese term for India meaning heavenly master? Your options are Yintu, Yindu, Tanzhou, or Sindhu. You got it right, it's Tianzhu. Tianzhu, which means heavenly master. Moving on, who was a Chinese scholar who traveled to India in the 7th century? That's very easy. Zhuangzi, Buddha, Confucius, or Lao Tzu? You got it right. It was Yuanzhang, the Chinese scholar who traveled to India in the 7th century. Fantastic! What an experience this has been. I'm sure you now feel all the more enriched and enlightened about something which we are really proud of, our country, India, that is Bharat. So I'll be back with another topic very soon. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning.
नदियों पर्वतों की ये भूमि महान, समय ने लिखी कथाएं यहाँ। 7 नदियाँ बहती स्वतंत्र सदा, सप्त सिंधु में पली भारतीय सभ्यता। ऋग्वेद में अंकित विशेष संदेश, सदियों से ऐसा मेरा भारत देश। ओ भारत तेरे कितने नाम, भारत वर्ष जम्बूद्वीप महान, धड़कन तेरी समय के संग, इतिहास संस्कृति एक ही रंग। गाथा में पुकार, कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी तट के पार, सीमाएं बदली कथाएं बनी, कुरुक्षेत्र की लड़ाइयां सुनी, विष्णु पुराण के श्लोक कहे, भारत वर्ष सदा अपने दिल में रहे। तुझे हिंद कहे, यूनानी बोले तुझे इंडिके, चीन पुकारे, हिंदू पुकारे, नामों में भारत अनुपम संसार। हिम की चोटियां या सागर धार, केप कुमारी और पर्वत अपार, तमिल गीतों में राजा कमान, भौगोलिक छवि है तेरी महान। सोने की चिड़िया सबको भाती, तेरे नाम महान गाथाएं गाती। भारत इतिहास की नजर से खड़ा, रम की भूमि अनंत सफर बड़ा। नाम बदले पर अटल तू खड़ा, तेरे नामों में अमर इतिहास गढ़ा।